Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. Huda Beauty just dropped their new Ube collection, so we're doing a full face of Huda Beauty. And we're starting off this look with their Easy Blur Primer. And this is a silicone-free primer that's supposed to blur your pores. Next up is the Easy Blur foundation. I have 500G Mocha and 510 Cocoa. When I first tried this foundation, I thought I was 500G, but then once I went to her masterclass, she shade matched me to 510 Cocoa. Both of these shades could work for me, but as you can see, the 500G is a little warm and the 510 leans more neutral. And this has literally been my go-to for foundation every day. I love the finish and it has so much coverage. And then it's also oil-free, so it's perfect for those of us who have oily skin. And this is the Faux Filter Concealer. This is the shade Praline, and I've been using this concealer for years. It's my absolute favorite. I always test out different concealers and then end up running right back to this one. And I'm doing eyeshadow today, so let me just put a drop there. And she hasn't come out with the contour yet, so I'm just using the one I have for Makeup by Mario, and it's his contour stick in the shade Dark. And I like to apply my contour before I blend the concealer just so it can sit and have more full coverage. Recently I switched out my sponge for the powder puff just because it doesn't absorb as much product and it blends everything out much faster than the brush. When you blend out your concealer with a brush, sometimes it leaves streaks and then you have to go back in with the sponge. But with the powder puff, it's super smooth and it doesn't absorb product, so it's a win-win. And next we're going in with her new setting powder. This is the shade Ube Birthday Cake, and this is actually the new packaging. And it's a super bright and pretty pink. I like it, but I think if you have Cherry Blossom, they're both very similar, so I wouldn't get both. Also gonna use it to highlight. And if you're wondering why I didn't brush it off, I actually don't like to use a lot of setting powder. I just use a little bit and then just kind of let it blend through. I feel like you don't need a lot of setting powder to blur, you just need a little pinch. But to make sure that the brightness stays right up under the eye, I do go back in with my contour brush. I don't add more product, but I just use whatever's on there and just kind of blend the edges to make it less sharp. Adding bronzer will do this too, but sometimes I like to just do this before the bronzer. And for bronzer, I'm using her blush filter in the shade Coco Loco, and it's the exact same packaging as her blush. And this, I believe, comes in 2 different shades. This is the deeper shade, and I'm just going in with a light amount. It's pretty pigmented. And I remember the first time I tried this bronzer was in her masterclass. We were all shook because it just blends out so well. It's super pretty, and it just melts right into the skin. It also has kind of a dewy, glowy finish. I don't know if you can see it that well on camera. This new blush is also part of the Ube collection. It's the blush filter formula in the shade Ube Cream. I also have this blush in the shade Black Cherry. It's one of my favorite blushes, and I'll swatch this right next to it just so you can get a better idea of both shades, Black Cherry and Ube Cream. And Ube Cream is a light lilac shade. It kind of leans a little pink. Even though Ube Cream is a bit too bright, I still want to show you guys what this shade looks like, and it kind of just barely shows up on my skin tone, but it is still pretty. I feel like this is a blush shade I would use on those no makeup days, and if you're around my complexion or deeper, I would say skip the Ube Cream and come straight to the Black Cherry. This is a much better shade for deeper complexions. Oh, I really like these two paired together. This is my first time trying it this way, but it kind of has an ombre effect. You can see the light pink underneath. I'm gonna use a little bit on my nose too, and my chin. I'm gonna do a very slight eyeshadow look with their Icy Nude palette. I'm using the shade Unapologetic in my crease, and this is gonna be my transition shade. This was the shade Unapologetic, and next I'm going in with Aurora, and I'm just putting this all over my lid. And one of my favorite things about Huda's palettes is not only does she include a mixture of the matte and shimmer, but you also get a whole bunch of different textures. So some are super gritty, some are smooth. They're super unique, so you never feel like you're buying the same eyeshadow palette over and over again. I don't know if you can really see the shimmer that well on camera, but this is one of my favorite go-to looks. It's super easy and it comes out pretty every time. I also don't think she has a highlighter yet, so I'm just using mine from Mango People Cosmetics. And this is the shade Sun Glitter. For lips, I'm using her lip liner in Rich Brown. And this lip gloss is the last new product from this Ube collection. It's in the shade Ooh Baby, and this is their faux filler formula, and this is what the applicator looks like. Here's a swatch of this shade. I have a love-hate relationship with this lip gloss. It's very pretty, but I feel like it just gets everywhere. I don't know. Every time I try to be neat with it, it just slides. Okay, not that bad today. Maybe sometimes I'm doing it when I'm rushing and then it gets all over. And this is what the base is looking like so far. I'm gonna hop off camera real quick, do my eye makeup, and I'll be right back. Here's a final look for today. I think Huda Beauty's had some really great launches lately, especially this new Ube collection. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye.